Coming to you from the Freedom Federal Credit Union Studios, Harford County Living presents Conversations with Rich Bennett.
Slow pitch or fast
It's probably the least sexy part of the work, and I don't have this answer. It's okay. No, it's fine. The truth is...
Yeah, I saw you roll your eyes. Today I am joined by my lovely co-host, Wendy. And
hello.
Well, you were supposed to say hello yet. Perhaps I wasn't done introducing you yet.
All right, well then get on with it.
Yeah, I am joined by my lovely co-host, Wendy.
Hello.
You already said that anyways. And today we have a special guest with us that was actually referred to us by another guest, Michelle Taylor, who is your mother, correct?
Yep.
So we have Derek Diem on. I got it right.
Mm-hmm.
And Michelle said, "Oh, you have to get my son on." I'm like, "Okay."
And ironically, Derek and I know each other from probably, I'm going to say 15 years ago, maybe 10 to 15.
Yeah, I would say 2017 maybe.
Okay.
Wait,
yeah.
so you knew Derek before you knew Michelle?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, he was doing a Facebook Live. Forgive me if I get this wrong. Kind of like a podcast, but
Right.
with a friend of his in his early recovery, and I was in the beginning stages, or rage was fairly new, so I went on and we talked about addiction and recovery and that type of thing. So we go way back.
Is that video? Because I know with Facebook Live, the videos disappear after certain, like 30 days.
I think I could probably find it.
Unless did you save it?
I think it's probably on our page.
Okay, good.
Yeah. It's a possibility I could find it.
Yeah, well, if you do, send it our way.
Yeah, definitely, without a doubt.
That was a long time ago.
How you said what, about 10 years, 15 years ago?
That was in probably 2019. It was Halloween actually, because we had some costumes on.
Oh, okay, so right before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When we did
I think
the
it was
show,
even before that, to be honest.
maybe 2018, 19, somewhere in
Okay.
that range.
Okay.
That we did that, yeah.
And how long were you doing that for?
Probably a year, maybe.
A year.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and explain to everybody why you were doing that.
So Mikey was selling T-shirts, and we just started meeting other influencers, and just started the show. And
what was it called?
Dream XL.
Dream XL.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yep.
Okay. Dream XL. Now, all right. So the dream part, I can understand. The XL part?
Extra large.
Extra large.
Dream extra large. Well, I had a feeling that's what you meant by the XL, but I didn't know if there was a meaning behind it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the meaning behind the Dream XL? Just dream extra large, dream extra big.
Chase your dreams.
Oh, man, I like that. Man, you ought to start that back up.
Mm-hmm.
Turn it into a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, if I knew what I knew now back then, I think things would have been much different.
So, Derek, since it's been such a long time, catch me up. Dream XL, and we had met, and I knew you were in recovery, and then we kind of lost track of each other, I guess, just because we each got busy, and so now here we are today.
Mm-hmm.
The stars have aligned and brought us back together. Yeah, and your mom's awesome. I love her. She came and did a workshop for our houses, and it was good.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right, because she started the oh God, I forgot the name of it.
Repurpose Rising.
Repurpose Rising, and she did a inner child workshop with the ladies of the Daughter's House program.
Okay, that thing is blowing up for her, isn't it?
Yeah, she's pushing pretty hard with it. Yeah,
that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. All right, so talk about your recovery. When did that start?
July 25th, 2014.
Okay.
This is when I got clean, and I got clean in San Diego and lived there for my first 3 years.
San Diego?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I was very fortunate that Dad had insurance, so I got to go some places that, and San Diego's where I ended up. Mm-hmm.
What's the name of the place in San Diego? Do you remember?
It was American Addiction Centers that I went to.
Why does that sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
It was real big back then. They had commercials on TV and all kind of stuff.
And then you stayed after you left treatment?
Yeah, it was the first time that I didn't just come home.
Right.
And probably the best decision I ever made. I don't think, honestly, I could have ever stayed clean here.
So what did you do after you left treatment there? Work?
I'd moved into a halfway house and then just kind of dove into NA. I don't think I worked for like 6 months.
Wow.
It was kind of a crazy thing with the work because I've been a plumber my whole life and I couldn't get a job out there.
Really?
Not in plumbing, anything. Ace Hardware, car wash. Like, I was not getting a job.
Why was that, do you think?
God was saying this wasn't right.
Okay.
And I'll never forget my dad saying, maybe you should just come back home. It's not working out there. And my thought process was just so different this time. And I said, you know what? Every time things ever get hard, you run.
Yeah.
Let's hang in. And a dude in the 12-step program that I was in actually gave me a job. Got my confidence, got my tools, a plumbing job, and that kind of laid the foundation for my 3 years living out there.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't that a dying field?
Plumbing?
Yeah.
Yeah, not a lot of young people want to do it anymore, that's for sure.
That's a shame. That's a good field to get into.
Yeah.
Everybody's always going to need a plumber.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. It's hard work.
Yeah.
You
Now,
know?
is that what you're doing now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I'm sorry, Wendy. Yeah.
That's okay. Okay, so what made you decide to leave California? If things were going well?
So actually I got into gambling.
Okay.
Real bad. And because that's like once the drugs were gone, I've used pretty much anything and everything since I got clean. But I got into the gambling. I lost my job. And at that point, that was the only thing there I really had holding me to San Diego. And I was like, you know what? I didn't get clean to not be a part of my family's life, you know, all the way across the country. So that's where it brought me back home.
And that's when I met you, probably?
Yeah, probably somewhere around that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you got into the recovery community here, reconnected with some people, maybe met some new ones, and you started
pretty much all new because I had never really been clean here.
Okay.
Yeah. I had a few friends, but yeah, it was pretty much, you know, that's something with recovery that I, you know, think is important too. I knew when I left San Diego, I left with a clean date that I wanted to keep. So I had to do the same things here that I did out there. So at 3 years clean, having to redo it all over again, like I was a newcomer.
Wow.
To the area?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but Bel Air has a pretty good recovery community.
Yeah.
How was it at that time?
It was very difficult. My experience with recovery here is much different than San Diego. Everything's very loving, welcoming out there. Like Baltimore and Maryland for me is always just
snooty.
Yeah, there's some snootiness. You know, a lot of people judged me because they didn't see me get clean. They weren't sure, you know, like it was, I was a very loud personality back then. I was fired up. I had done a lot of work, you know, so like being in the meetings and sharing and, you know, people get intimidated by that sometimes. Or they judge you because their own insecurities. So my first actual home group I joined because it was a book study, a lot of newcomers, and I felt like a lot of the people didn't like me. And I was like, you know what, this is going to be my home group.
A book study?
Yeah, they did the steps and traditions was the format of the meeting. So,
okay.
And I've always been, I mean, you know, that's 12 steps or the 12-step program. So I always like that.
I've never heard anybody mention the book study part. This is why we have to do an episode about the 12-step program.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
That's what I've heard.
I think if the world had the 12 steps, we'd be a much better place.
I often say that, you know, and I've said it a million times on here, that people in recovery work on themselves harder than anyone else that I've ever met.
Isn't that the truth?
The emotional intelligence that we gain from actually doing the work on ourselves is like, you try to have certain conversations with people in the outside world, they can't even like fathom that you're talking about your feelings or
your growth.
Yeah,
and that
or
you
these
want to
things
grow.
you're figuring out. You know, it's just like, whoa, dude, this is uncomfortable.
Yeah, I see that. And I see the transition when people start, doing the step work and they have that epiphany and they continue with it. Now, kind of sticking with that, how hard is it to for it to catch on? Because not everybody does right away.
My experience was this time getting clean, I was pretty tore up from the floor up. We have a phrase the gift of desperation. I did my first 3 steps in my first 90 days. I was on fire. I had no family, no money, no friends, no car. I had nothing to do but the step work. So
right.
I dove right in, and once I started getting the relief, I was just I was on fire with it.
Mm-hmm. And that was in California, or yes, okay.
Yeah, so, but it's just about doing the work, man. But not everybody can necessarily comprehend it a certain way or take it in a certain way. I feel like that's a gift that I've always had, to be able to internalize recovery literature, the step work, patterns.
So with the gambling addiction, was that a 12-step program as well?
Nah, if I went to a 12-step program for every addiction I've had, I wouldn't have time to do anything. So basically with everything, man, it's just apply the principles.
Right.
That we learn in the 12-step program to whatever area of your life that you're struggling with. Because the truth about addiction is that I found is it's not what I'm doing, where I'm doing it, who I'm doing it with, how I'm doing it, but why. Right. There's always a why underneath of everything. Once you get the awareness of the why, now you can actually start doing something to make a difference.
And the gambling addiction was after the substance abuse addiction.
Yeah, I'd always gambled my whole life, but it really took off, I would say, probably between 2.5 and 3.5 years clean for me.
Now, out of those 2 addictions, which was the hardest to, I guess, recover from?
So, of all the things, because I went from drugs to sexual behavior, women, that was pretty hard. The gambling was tough. I would say the hardest, though, of everything that I've experienced in the 11 years I've been clean is food, for sure.
Okay, and that's the journey that you're on now.
Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
So let's talk about that, because you posted something on Facebook. Obviously, it's not a secret because you did.
Yep.
And you had photographs of kind of before and now, and you lost how much weight?
So I'm down 44 pounds right now.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Now, I've lost 50 before, but I didn't make the lifestyle change.
Bingo.
I counted calories. I lost 50 pounds. And here's the addiction part, right? So I lost 50 pounds. I wasn't eating fast food. I was making, some decisions, right? And so we went to San Diego, me and my ex, and we were in the airport, and I said, it's just a McDonald's breakfast sandwich. And we have a saying, 1 is too many and 1,000's never enough, right?
Yeah.
And so I gave myself a little permission, and next thing you know, it was just I need a fast lunch. And before you know it, I'm gained all the weight back, and I'm back to, 275, 280 at 5'7". It wasn't comfortable. So
back up just a little bit. So after, you're in recovery, you kind of, went through the steps with gambling, and now food has always been an issue?
I would say probably since I was a kid, yeah. Looking back at food, there's something about my personality. I don't have a little bit in me. If I do something, I'm 0 to 100.
Right.
A few years ago, I started golf. I literally took the whole summer off of work and golfed, and my life became unmanageable with a healthy hobby. So there's no little bit when I do things.
Right. Okay, so you kind of conquered the gambling. I'm just going to use that word. I don't know if it's accurate or not. And then you realized that you needed to kind of work on your health with your eating habits. And then when you said this about being in the airport and you chose that McDonald's sandwich, which was a little bit, or, whatever you just said,
it was a small permission.
Small permission to do that. Where did you go from there? What weight were you at that sandwich?
I was probably at 225 back then, and before I knew it, I was back to 275.
Wow.
I gained all 50 pounds back.
And how long did that span? How long was that time?
I would say, I don't know when I really started looking at it, but I would say last year I realized, like, dude, you're back to 275, right?
And you said it was uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's the pain with food addiction is your body hurting all the time, getting out of breath, not being able to move. Yeah.
And how old are you? Can I ask?
I'm 36.
Okay, so you're young.
Yeah,
you're a young guy.
Yeah. Just walking up the steps, I would get out of breath. Like my ex-girlfriend would say, "What's wrong with you?" And I'm like, "I just walked up the steps. What do you mean?" Like it was normal to be out of breath walking up the steps.
Now, are there any other health issues, whether it be diabetes, arthritis, or anything?
Nah, I broke my hip and my foot, and I've always had back issues with plumbing, but it was 100% magnified with food.
I was going to say because different types of food, depending on what you're eating, can cause inflammation.
I was eating horrible.
Oh yeah.
Like
wow,
eating out every night, fast food 2 times a day. Because when you're plumbing, you're on the run. So fast.
I was the same way when I was on the road doing sales. It's like you want the fast food because you got to hurry up and get to your next place.
Or you're not doing your food prepping. You're not preparing stuff in advance and bringing your
lifestyle
with you.
Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
And I've always said that. I mean, diets work, but the problem with diets, you do it and then once you stop,
lose your momentum.
Yeah. But when you change your lifestyle, like with what you're doing, what I did, it catches on quick. And I mentioned at Christmas time, I was eating them cookies because kids brought them to me. But I knew not to eat as much.
But it's just like recovery, right? Like we say you got to change people, places, and things in recovery. You have to change. Recovery is a lifestyle. It's the same with anything that you struggle with, right? Like with food, it's just a lifestyle change now.
And what's the regimen that you have put yourself through to lose the weight? And I know we mentioned it a little bit before we came on, but can you kind of rehash that?
So you know what? Before we get into that, right? I think the jarring experience, right? So we have a question in the 12-step program of what was the jarring experience that led you to work in the first step. And me and my ex broke up in November. And my self-esteem was at my all-time lowest, heartbroken, 275, probably the worst pain I ever experienced in my life, right? And so that launched me into this new lifestyle because I was like, man, you can't be single and looking like this, right? And so at that point, I just started... I knew that the weight had to go, and I knew that it was a reflection of me not loving myself.
Well, and I was just going to say that you said, and this is very typical of a lot of people, that I can't be single and look like this. So you're not even doing it for yourself. You're doing it for the potential of being with someone else, which I think is not uncommon. We need to, all of a sudden we go through a divorce and we start going to the gym or we, we get a new hairdo or whatever it is. And we're trying to put a Band-Aid on the situation that had really nothing to do with,
But he said something key there too. He didn't love himself.
Right.
And that's something, and especially men struggle with, is loving themselves. I mean, and that's something everybody has to do.
Yeah, I think it's a thing that everybody has. So I seen a video the other day, and it was talking about when men go through a breakup, and it could be women too, but they get this like cortisol goes crazy, and like something happens in their brain, and so to start like rebuilding their identity, they start trying to fix everything.
Yeah. Because
that was where I was, right? Like, I got to fix the weight. I got to fix this. I got to fix that. I got to do, like, I was so manic and crazy. But I knew the weight, like, once the dust settled and I looked at my weight and how it was impacting every area of my life, because it was really just reflecting that I did not love myself.
Right.
So then everything down the line was like happening with this behavior, the way I was taking care of myself, the way I was doing everything. And that's what recovery's taught me, to be able to like self-reflect and get to the root of like what's actually happening here. And it kind of a crazy story. So like 3 weeks after the breakup, I'm at my mom's. I'm living in the basement.
Which was probably felt brutal.
A super like humbling experience having to move back in, and not necessarily having to. Like I truly believe God put me there with her.
Yeah.
Our relationship has healed a ton being there at this time. So, but it was a Friday night, and I said, let's just sit by yourself. You've been on the go. You've been doing all this crazy stuff, and I put Landman on. And it's
my God.
all love and relationships. And next thing you know, I'm crying. I'm cussing out the ex. And I said, let's go to the fridge and get some cheese sticks, right? And I go up, and
there's cheese sticks. Okay.
There's a pizza box in the refrigerator. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Because at this point, I had been very strict on the diet for a few weeks.
Right.
And I grab the cheese sticks. I go downstairs. I'm still feeling hungry. I go get a bowl of cereal with some almond milk and high protein cereal. I eat that. I'm still hungry. The pizza is literally talking to me.
Right.
From the refrigerator. Come get me. You know I'll make you feel better. Pizza's like my kryptonite, right? Like that was like my that still is.
Who doesn't love pizza?
Yeah, like it's just like screaming at me. So finally I'm talking to myself. I said, you know what? I'm just going to go get it. I'm going to go get a slice. Shit. So I go upstairs. I pull the pizza out of the refrigerator. I put it on the counter, and I'm literally having a full-blown conversation with a box of pizza. I hate you. You're the reason I'm here. Like, if somebody would have saw it, they would have been like, "Yo, this dude is nutty."
It's like a scene in a show or something,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
I think that's a great idea, though.
Oh man!
So what happened?
So no, it didn't help me. I smelled it, and I said, you know what? I'm going to eat a slice, and I ate this slice of pizza slower than I've ever eaten it in my life. I was like
which means
savoring it.
Yeah.
And then I ate another one, and that was it. But that was like another moment that I realized, like, yo, dude, you really got a problem, man.
Yeah.
Like, people don't, because again, it's not, the food is not the problem. It's why am I eating it? I was searching for comfort in that pizza because my emotional state at the time.
That's why it's called a comfort food.
Yeah, well, that's our society has made food celebration, comfort, boredom, a night out. Like, you get clean and it's like, I'm not going to go out and use tonight. I'm going to go eat what I want to eat. And that's how we're going to celebrate Friday night, where people do happy hour.
Yeah.
We do this, right? So why am I eating? And that was a huge, like, wow, man, this is definitely an issue.
So what happened the next day? How did that affect tomorrow?
I don't think it really had any effect. The awareness was like on point. I was hyper focused on myself at the time, so the awareness was there. And then, like you had asked about the regimen, so I started the weight loss shot. Started some testosterone, which definitely helped a whole lot because
was that a shot as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
And being in recovery, I think it's real important if people in recovery experience this, because it does deal with needles.
Yeah.
My first time, I wanted to do it again.
Oh, wow.
And so I called my sponsor. I said, hey, man, I'm not thinking like I want to go use some dope or anything, but I just want to throw it out there that I got this feeling. And it was the ritual, drawing it up, the whole thing, right? It wasn't necessarily I got any kind of feeling right away, but it was the whole ritual of it gave me like I wanted to do it again.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, man, don't trip. Like, I've had the experience myself, whatever. So, but I just learned that when I do feel things like that, if I don't tell someone, I have a good chance of manipulating myself into doing it.
Yeah.
So the difference between this time and the other time that I lost the 50 pounds was like, I started going to the gym. And it was brutal. And I was super insecure in the gym, super uncomfortable. I've never been a workout guy. I've never really cared about like, oh, I need to be muscular or looking like this or whatever. So I just would go in and walk on the treadmill. And that was like the beginning. And
You're creating new habits. Yeah.
So many people in my life loved on me, and everybody had a workout plan to do. Everybody wanted to work out with me. Everybody had a diet plan. I really had to slow all that down, find what worked for me. And And the thing with the weight loss shot is, man, is that it's a tool. It's not a solution.
And tell me about it, because I know a lot of people are doing that right now. Like, how does it feel initially? Does it dull your appetite?
Oh
does it make you feel sick? Does it, like, what does it do?
I don't know that I necessarily had a lot of the symptoms that some people. So I'm actually taking a GLP coaching course right now, and I'm learning a lot about it.
That's a good idea. And I didn't even know that was a thing.
I didn't either, man.
Wow.
So, Facebook I have a very entrepreneurial mindset. So when I see an opportunity for something, and I've learned, like, ChatGPT has been huge through the breakup, everything, right? Like, business. I named him Louie. So if I say
my Chat GPT is Chatty Cathy.
Yeah. So people will be like, "Who is Louie?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, that's my Chat
I know. I said
guy.
Something to someone the other day. I'm like my friend, and they're like, "What?
Yeah.
Wait a minute, no." And I'm like, "No, like, honestly, like, it just is a great tool."
That's a whole nother topic, but literally that got me through the breakup, learning about myself, attachment styles, the gym, workouts, diets, the weight loss, everything. So what it feels like in the beginning is just no appetite. I think I detoxed my body the first week of the breakup because I wasn't eating. I was just drinking water. So I think I had flushed my body naturally that first week. And then there's some fatigue that comes with it. And I've really had to, like, learn my body and learn the dose that works for me. And because originally I was doing one shot one time a week, and I would have no appetite the first few days. And then by the end of the week, the appetite, the food noise, they call it, was louder, So I found that for me, microdosing, taking smaller shots 3 times a week keeps me more leveled out. I don't have those highs or lows. People say the nausea, but I think the problem is, like, I saw my ex on it for 2.5 years, and she would always try to get me to do it, but it wasn't attractive because I saw her just use it as the solution and not a tool. And her stomach always hurt. She was always tired, because there's things that you have to do, like, to learn your body while you're on it.
Wow.
Well, I grew up with a very food-oriented family. Like, we had tons of food at every gathering. That's like, and it kind of was the mindset that, food was love in our family. That's how we didn't go, on a hike. We didn't go, to the theater. We had parties and everybody ate.
Yeah.
And so I'm a routine eater. So I have to be very careful, like, because if it's breakfast time, it's time to eat. If it's lunchtime, it's time to eat. If it's dinner time, it's time to eat. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm hungry.
Right.
And so
that's the hard part with the shot, because you're not feeling hungry. So now it's like when your car says E, you got to go to the gas station. If you don't have anything telling you, hey, I'm on E, you don't want to go to the gas station, but you just have to learn. It's almost like driving a car without a gas gauge. You have to know this is fuel for my body. I need to do it. Right? Like at these times. So that's been a learning curve for me, because I feel my performance in the gym when my sleep is not on point and when my food intake and protein is not on point.
And protein's huge.
Protein is absolutely 100%.
So what is this course? Just give us a little synopsis.
So it's pretty much just like where, I just started it this week, but it's teaching me about the GLPs, the side effects of it, how to, it's a coaching course. So it's not medical advice.
Right.
You're just coaching people through the lifestyle, which I find myself very passionate. One, seeing somebody whose lifestyle didn't really change and feels like I have to be on this forever because nothing else is changing, right? So my experience with it now is it's a tool, along with the diet, counting my macros.
Do you feel hungry? Like, does your stomach growl? Are you hungry?
No, not at the doses that I'm doing now, but I've also found myself, because it can, with lifting weights, protein and food intake is important. I don't like the no hunger noise at all. Like, there were literally times where food would be sitting in front of me. I hadn't eaten all day and I did not want to eat it.
Right.
So
That's so sad to
strong.
me because I love food. I love thinking about it. I love gathering the ingredients. I love preparing it. I love eating it. I love feeding people. And I even love cleaning up my kitchen because it's like a self-love for my house and for the people that I care about. So like eliminating food would feel like a huge loss.
100%. And that's for food. It's just like when I lost heroin, it was like I lost my best friend.
Okay.
So when you think about the food and the why, the celebration, the boredom, the comfort,
right?
Something to do, like
something to do, yes.
Boredom, so
the
many
time,
things. So,
of day,
even that's changing my relationship with food. But that's society, right? Like growing up, most people, it's the same way. Like parties are about food, celebrations. When people die, what do? We eat. Like everything is about food. So,
with the GLP. I'm sitting here watching. I'm sure you drink a lot of water.
Yeah,
probably
it's
a gallon
super
a day.
important. Yeah.
Do you use a protein powder or protein shake?
Yeah. I was doing a protein shake for a while. I do a lot of drinks now because at my weight and where I'm at with my regimen, I should be getting 0.9 to 1 grams of protein for every pound my body weighs. So when you're 240, 250, trying to get that much protein in your body can be very difficult, especially when you don't have an appetite. So I found myself drinking a lot of protein.
Okay.
That was, but this is all learning stuff, right?
Right.
And that's where the chat
you have
GPT
a
really
growth
helped
mindset, I can tell,
100%,
just like your mom.
Yeah. And when I'm locked and loaded on something, forget it. Like it's on and popping.
I can tell.
I'm in it.
Definitely.
Well, you got another career now too that you're studying for.
Yeah.
I never knew there was such a thing as a GLP coach.
Well, so you think about, right? People go to the doctors, they prescribe it.
Yeah.
I've had some friends and family recently start taking it, and I get texts like, hey, I'm feeling like this. You can't just call your doctor like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if you have somebody that's able to coach you through the lifestyle, it's much easier, right?
And it makes sense. You think about it because a lot of times people that go to the gym have trainers.
Exactly.
Life coaches.
Life coaches. Sponsors.
Recovery coach.
Yeah.
Recovery coach.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Yep. And another course I want to take is the working out while you're on it. My whole workout routine was a recomposition phase. So I'm losing weight, but I'm building muscle.
Right.
I'm not cutting. I'm not bulking. I'm trying to basically do two things at the same time because the GLPs knock muscle mass off.
Yes, I just heard that. I was listening to another podcast, sorry, and they were
whatever.
They were talking about how people are not realizing that they're losing muscle because of it. And I think, is that why they have that, like some people have like more of like a saggy look?
So I was that was in the course the other night, and the saggy face can come from a few things. When you lose weight so fast, at such a dramatic pace, and you're not doing the things, you're gonna see these effects.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I don't know if my face looks like that, but I'm down 44 pounds. But I'm drinking water. I'm putting the protein in my body. I'm working out, right? So I'm doing these things that are, that
are kind of helping the whole process.
Yeah, and I asked, Louis, my chat GPT the other day, if I wasn't lifting, how much would I weigh? And he said you would probably be down another 4 to 6 pounds. Because naturally, when you lose weight, they say it's usually, I think, 70% will be fat, 30% will be muscle. Any kind of diet.
Right.
Take away the GLPs, any kind of diet, you're going to lose muscle mass. So I'm not losing the muscle mass at a normal rate because of all the other things that I'm doing. So, but my 44 pounds also looks different than maybe somebody that just lost fat's 44 pounds.
That's where I screwed up. Because the second time when I started new, I was losing the weight, but I stopped working out.
Right.
So I lost my strength, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And one of the things I told my chiropractor, I have to get back to working out again, not to really build the muscle. I don't want to be bulky, but I need the strength back.
Right.
Obviously, because I think... Important. And I've seen, well, I'm sure you've seen all the videos. There's guys, you got all these bodybuilders that are jacked and everything, but the strength isn't really there. And when I say strength, I don't mean how much they can lift. It's,
there's different kinds
of strength.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they can lift something, but like deadlift, you lift it and then you drop it right back down.
Mm-hmm.
But then you have the ones that can lift stuff and hold it.
I'm a plumber. I've seen the strongest dudes try to, come turn a wrench and can't do it, but I've been doing it my whole life. You know? So my brothers, we laugh because they're pretty, cut up dudes. And they don't have the grown man strength like me and my dad do. It's just different.
Well,
it's different.
I get it.
It's definitely, it's a different scenario. But yeah, I mean, the muscle part is huge. Like, I didn't get into this like I want to be a bodybuilder.
No.
I just wanted to do something different.
Feel good, the pain go away and all.
So the gym got me through the breakup, all the anxiety, all the depression, late nights when I couldn't sleep, I would go to the gym. It helped me to go at night because there wasn't as many people, so I could like navigate without feeling insecure and learn the machines and what to do and all the things. So the gym has been absolutely life-changing for me, not just physically, but mentally.
Now, and you mentioned in the gym you started with the treadmill. Mm-hmm. Now, are you getting outside walking as well?
Well, at that point, it was very, very cold. We had a pretty cold winter, so there wasn't.
We did.
And we had a lot of snow on the ground for a while.
Whatever, man. It's only snow.
Nah, I'm not a dude. It's hard enough to like that cold makes me not want to do
I know. I didn't want to go out
either.
So
the treadmill was much more
doable,
comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's when it's
now
warm,
I hate
the
treadmill. I can't stand cardio. I would much rather. So I have ADD.
Okay.
Small tasks are much better for me. Doing the same thing for 45 minutes, is like a harder task.
I can understand that, because you're just looking straight ahead.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the clock.
Yeah.
We're a quarter of the way through. We're halfway there. We're 3/4 of the way there. We're 2/3 of the way there. 5 minutes left. Like, I literally do this whole thing when I'm on the treadmill. Like, it's crazy.
Most of my walking, when I do it now, is in the morning when I'm waiting on my daughter because I take her to work. Mm-hmm. And I'll just walk around the court. But as I'm doing it, I'm not really looking at the houses and all that. I'm listening to the birds, looking different little things I'm looking at. And
when you're outside,
you notice different things, even if it's the same loop that I do all the time.
It's a form of meditation, really.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I wasn't supposed to speak, was I?
You're fine.
But no, I mean that's a big step, and a lot of people will just do the shot and not even work out.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate because you're not really truly benefiting,
right? Yeah,
and you're not getting the lifestyle change. So Suboxone and drug replacement therapy is so huge in the recovery community now. Like, if you just do that and you never try to do anything to change, when you come off of it, naturally, what are you going to want to go back to?
Right.
Old habits.
So it's the same concept. Like, this is a tool. It's not meant for forever. Now, if you're diabetic, of course, you might be on it for forever. But if you're using it for weight loss, I'm trying to set myself up for a whole lifestyle change.
So what's next? Sorry.
That's right.
Is that what you're going to say?
No, I was going to ask him. So if you opened the refrigerator and you saw that pizza box today, what would you say to it?
I mean, so I had pizza the other night.
Right.
I ordered it myself. I'm not as strict as I was. Now, that's the first time in a month, and it's almost weird. Like, it doesn't have the same effect on me now as it did. Like, I had 2 slices. That was never a thing. I would have, my limit was always 4. I knew after 4 I would feel bad. I couldn't breathe. I'd be tossing and turning in the bed. I'd be snoring. I'd be uncomfortable. But I would always go to 5 and then 6. And then it's like, man, you can't just leave 2. Like, I would smash an extra large pizza by myself. So, like, I had 2 slices and I was good. I was done. So it's not always like, calorie deficit is another huge thing with the weight loss, right? So I'm on the weight loss shot. Now I have a calorie deficit plan. And the way I explain that to people is it's like if you wake up with $2,500, you can spend it wherever you want. But when it's gone, it's gone. Our parents used to say stuff like that. Like, hey, here's $5, but listen, when it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
You go to the arcade or whatever. And that's how I explain it to people is that, like, one day I'm working with my dad and he's got a chocolate milk and this huge donut. And I'm like, Dad, you know how many calories is in that chocolate milk? He's like, how many? I said, 300. That's a lot of calories for an 8-ounce drink.
Right. That's a meal.
Yeah. So you're going to spend your money. Then you got the donuts. So you're at 700 some calories, right? And then he wanted to eat Taco Bell for lunch. And, you know, so it's like before you know, you could be 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 calories in a day just eating what you would think is a normal thing. So the calorie deficit is huge, right?
Yeah.
Like I know where I'm at in my deficit of what I can have and what I can't have. And one pizza, you know, 2 slices of pizza is okay, but I don't do cheat days.
Yeah.
I don't do cheat weeks. I don't do cheat months because that's what it would turn into for me. You talked about the cookies. December could be a cheat month because I'm playing Santa right now and they bring cookies, right?
The good thing, because I don't call them cheat days either. Other people, I like to call them treat days. Mm-hmm. But what I do, like come December when I'm eating a lot of those cookies, I'm still counting my calories.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at what else. It's like, okay, I need to eat more greens or more fruit, which is...
Well, the Noom talks about the density. Yeah.
And that's hard because there's not a lot of calories
raisins,
in that.
Eat grapes. You know.
Oh, frozen grape. Oh my God. Frozen
I'm just saying like
grapes.
You know, the density of food versus,
It's hard, man.
It's like a job.
It is.
Sometimes it gets overwhelming. And I think that's where probably a lot of people
give up,
get jammed up because it does feel like so much. And it's like, look, man, let's start with just doing this, you know, like lately, because I know this pain that I was in, right? Like when I first got clean from drugs, somebody told me, if you don't remember your last day using, chances are it ain't your last day using.
Wow.
And it was how I felt that last day. And so, like, there's so many people that are overweight. They abuse food. They're stuck. I have a friend recently that was my height. He's 300 pounds, and I'm on the phone with him the other night, and I can feel his pain. Wow. From everything. He can't sleep. He's got to sleep on the couch. He can't do this. He can't. It's showing up at work in his performance. His boss is like, why don't you have the uniform on? He's like, it don't fit anymore. Like, I got to wear things that fit. And I'm feeling his pain, and I'm like, that's something that I have, and I had it with recovery. Being of service to people has always been a huge thing for me. Like, I love to help people, and I'm like, man, dude, I feel your pain. Like, let me just, like, show you what I'm doing, you know? But if people have to be willing, just like me with getting clean, and I know I can't rob anybody of their pain. Yeah. Nobody could do that for me, and if it wasn't for my pain, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
Do you remember what you were going to ask him?
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, well, yeah, kind of like, okay, so what's next for Derek?
As far as the weight loss?
Or just in life?
So I would really like to pursue this avenue. One, for business, I think it's a huge industry. I think it's still early enough to be able to tap into
the coaching.
The coaching. You know, there's a lot of avenues to make money with it, you know, stacking supplements, selling supplements, social media, branding yourself, all that kind of stuff, which is always something I've liked and been passionate about.
Dream XL.
Just like Dream XL, yeah. So my mom is always like, so to say this humbly, even speaking in recovery, a lot of people, like recently I had 2 girls say, you were the first person I ever heard share at a meeting, and I remember everything you said, and it was 8 years ago. Like, wow. My voice has been very impactful. Like, it's a gift that God gave me, right? So I just feel like in any area of my life, you know, like with talking to people and communicating well, understanding people, that's a passion. So I'd like to finish this course and, you know, see where that takes me, because that's where my passion is right now. Because I always wanted to be able to help the world, not just in the addiction community, but in other areas. You know what I mean? Like, I've never, just because I see all the things I struggle with outside of drugs, to be able to help people with that. And I feel like weight loss is such a huge thing that impacts people's lives so much, you know, and a lot of people are scared of the weight loss. A lot of people aren't educated, you know, so that's kind of like, I think that's where I'm at.
Okay.
right now, you
Cool.
know? Yeah. Yeah.
Do you have anything you'd like to add before we get to the last question that you're going to pick?
You know what? I would just say, man, like for anybody that's listening, if you are struggling, reach out, you know, utilize resources, talk to people, be open about what you're struggling with, because you will be shocked. Sometimes you might find your solution with somebody you never even thought would be able to help you, you know? So, and just be willing to do something different, man. Yeah.
Well, man, I can't wait till you come on again, because it'll be the first time we've ever had a GLP coach. I think that could be
It'd be exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Pick a number between 1 and 100. And of course, you have to tell me.
25.
25. Why 25?
My birth date and my clean date is both 25.
Oh, wow. Okay. This goes with what we've been talking about in a way. What do you believe is humanity's greatest strength?
Love.
Man, that was a quick answer. He was quick with that. I think more people need it.
Mm-hmm.
More people need to know how to love.
Mm-hmm.
And like we said earlier, love themselves as well.
Yeah, love other people. Love's the most powerful principle we have.
I love that.
And the love back to life was been my experience since I got clean. The 12-step program loved me back to life. All the people on this weight loss journey have loved me back to life. I feel like they've loved all the pounds off of me.
Oh.
All the love and support and everything.
It sounds like to me you need to start that back up. You said, so the love, was it love back to life?
Mm-hmm.
With the number 2 in it, right?
Yeah.
And you have 10,000 followers on Facebook?
Mm-hmm. Like 9,700, somewhere around there, yeah.
Yeah, you need to, just.
The struggle is I'm not really a social media person.
Oh, okay.
Like, I enjoy it, but like I'm not addicted to social media. That's a whole other thing. Like,
well, it's a business, and
It's a
if you look
business,
at it
yeah.
as a business, because I know I do like the social media for Rage, and you know, you get into your groove, and you can schedule posts. You have to, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
It is a lot. It's
I'm working with a
constant.
girl that's doing it for me, so
Okay.
it's much easier. I literally just have to create the content, do the
Right.
videos, and she does everything else. So, because I'm a plumber my whole life. Technology is not my strong suit, so I
Right.
can get very discouraged.
Yeah.
Very
Yes,
fast.
Technology is hard to keep up with.
I
as
hate
well.
the updates on the phones. I'm like, dude, where's this? I had learned this, and now you switched it, and I can't find this. And, I was having a fit about it last night, so.
Yeah, I get it.
And social media keeps changing. And
I feel like the younger generation, like literally, if you're not rich being a young person, like, I don't know what you're doing.
I tell you, well, even with the younger generation, the way social media has been changing, a lot of them are even lost. Because, they were always looking at followers. I need more followers. Now
You have to keep up with the algorithms and the
Yes.
trends and all that stuff.
And now it's like more on engagement.
Right,
It's-
yeah.
Yeah, everything's
But
constantly
you can watch
changing.
YouTube and learn that stuff. Very easy, It's like it's
You can
my
learn
But
anything.
but you have to keep up to date
look.
with that.
Look
too.
at plumbing.
how much.
However many years ago it was cast iron,
Yeah.
and then it was copper, and now it's CPVC, and now we got PEX out. You have to keep
Got
up with
what?
your trade. PEX. It's like this. You put it in, you squeeze this tool, and there's no glue. It just clamps together pretty much. You got Pro Press. You don't have to solder copper anymore. So you just basically you got to keep up with your trade. Like
Growth in all
Yeah.
areas. Yeah.
it's constantly evolving and changing. And if you're gonna stay stuck, you're gonna stay stuck. You got to grow with it.
Listening to Derek's story, it really reminds me that recovery isn't about quitting something. It's about rebuilding everything. It's about learning how to sit with yourself, how to understand the why behind your habits, and how to keep showing up even when it's uncomfortable. Because whether it's addiction, food, relationships, or just life in general, we all have something we're working through. And what Derek shared today is that awareness, that willingness to be honest. That's where the real change starts. I think one of the biggest takeaways, and probably for a lot of you listening, is that this isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about making different choices today than you did yesterday and being okay with the process. And maybe most importantly, it's about connection. Because like Derek said, sometimes the solution comes from someone you never expected. But you've got to be willing to reach out, to talk, and to open up. So if you're listening right now and something in this conversation hit home for you, don't ignore it. Start small. Do something different. Talk to someone. And remember, you're not alone in whatever you're going through. Derek, I really appreciate you coming on, being open, being real, and just sharing your journey with us. I have a feeling this isn't the last time we're talking, especially with everything you've got coming next. And to everyone listening, thank you for being part of the conversation. And until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. And if this episode meant something to you, do me a favor. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. And I'd love to hear your thoughts too. Drop a comment, reach out, and let's keep this conversation going.